Okay, let's have a look at how to read rulers and measuring tapes. So here we have a ruler and it's in inches. So the first thing you want to do is count how many little ticks are from uh, one section. So from the one to the two. So if you count the little ticks, you're going to notice 16 ticks. Sometimes there's only 8 ticks between, sometimes there's 32. So this tells us that each tick is 1/16 of an inch. So if you count all the way across, you'd have 16 over 16, which would be 1 whole inch. And so that's how you calculate how much part of an inch you're working with. So for example, if you notice, these are the longest ticks from 1 inch to the next inch, but the next longest inch is right here, and it's halfway in between. So this spot, if we were measuring from the beginning, from here to here, would be 1 full inch and halfway. So you'd say 1.5 inches. But let's look at in between as well. So if we were looking at, say, the one and then two little ticks in, so right there, then that would be 1 full inch and 2/16 of an inch. But you don't say 2/16 because you want to reduce it. So you would actually say 1 1/8 of an inch because you would divide the top and the bottom by 2, which reduces to 1/8. So let's look at a different spot. So a different spot would be, say, like right here. So the fast way to do it is you go, oh, wait a minute, it's the third biggest kind of tick, right? This is the biggest, this is the second biggest. Well, this is the third biggest. Or you can think of it as, wait a minute, I've broken it up. I'm looking at half of a half, right? So here's half, and then I'm looking halfway between that. So that's putting it in quarters. And there's the other section right there. So you could quickly just say, well, this is 3, this is a quarter, this is a half, this would be 3/4. So that's how you'd read it real quick. So this spot right here, I would say is 3 3/4. Of course, when you're doing the staircase method and you're just doing calculations and you're doing it to the 16th of an inch, you're going to actually have 3 and 12 over 16. But like I said, we don't say 12 over 16. We say 3 3/4 so that we can find it quickly on the ruler or measuring tape. So here's a measuring tape down here, and that's a good example of how we start looking at stuff on a measuring tape. So the bottom of the measuring tape is actually in centimeters and then the top here are all inches. And you'll notice here, there's a 1 foot mark here. So every 12 inches will say how many feet it is. Quick way to go about it. So 1 foot is right there. But say I want to look at this spot right here, and I want to look at right maybe here. So I'm like, okay, what is that? Well, I know it's 7 full inches. So I've got 7 full inches. And then I'm looking, well, how many ticks? So I would first try to figure out, well, wait a minute, how many ticks are between 7 and 8? Like, how many little ticks are there? So there's 16. So then I know I'm dealing with 16th of an inch. And so then if I count, say I count the third one in, then I know I'm working with 3/16 of an inch.